Recording. Right, thank you. So I'm going to call this OCO meeting to order at 8:01 p.m. First off, territory acknowledgement. I want to say that SFSS respectfully acknowledges that we are located on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie nations. Unceded, as you all know, means that these territories have never been handed over, sold, or given up by these nations, and we are currently situated on occupied land territories. So item number 3, roll call of attendance. I'm just going to go down the list of attendance. So firstly, mathematics.
Hi everyone, my name is Ben Tischler. My pronouns are he, him, his, and all of my access needs are met.
Yeah. And next, cognitive science. So that would be myself. My name is Aaron, pronouns he, they, and all my access needs are met. Nextly, communications.
Hey everyone, my name is Alan Rupke, pronouns he, him, all my access needs are met.
Next is film.
Hey everyone, my name is Rio, he, him pronouns. I'm on my laptop today, which means my internet connection is not amazing, so I might cut out just.
Okay, no worries. And lastly, history.
Hey everyone, my name is Matthew Reed. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm calling from the stolen unceded territories of the Katzie, Wasonic, Kwantlen, Semiahmoo, Stolo, and First Nations. All my access needs are met. I will have to leave by 9 o'clock sharp, though, if this meeting goes long. I hope it doesn't.
Thanks, Matt. And nextly, 3.2, society staff, administrative assistant.
Hey everyone, my name is Simmer and I go by he and him pronouns and all my access needs are met.
Right, thanks, Simmer. Number 4, consent agenda. So the motion reads, be it resolved to adopt the consent agenda by unanimous consent. So seeking unanimous consent, if you wish to dissent or abstain, please use the Zoom raise hand feature and I'll record your vote. Seeing as there are no objections, the motion for the consent agenda is carried. Nextly, item number 5, adoption of the agenda. So the motion reads, be it resolved to adopt the agenda as presented. If you wish to dissent or abstain, please use the Zoom raise hand feature. And can I get a mover for this?
Math
History.
I heard math moves. I also heard history, so history seconds. So yeah, seeking unanimous consent. Seeing as is there any discussion on this item? Adoption of the agenda. Okay, and yeah, apologies. So seeking unanimous consent now. Seeing as there are no objections, the motion is carried via unanimous consent. And yeah, nextly, item number 11, discussion items as submitted by math. So 11.1 would be review of the July 1st to July 15th work reports. So just as normal, please bring up anything you may think needs correction or changes on this executive work report. So yeah. And yeah, so Ben, you have a list.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight for folks, in terms of extensions, this isn't on this work report period because this one was postponed from the last meeting, but on the July 16th to July 31st work report period, Abby has an extension until tonight. Vaibhav and Nikki both have extensions until tomorrow. Judith and Helen have extensions until next Thursday. Ishana is fully complete with her work report, and Ria is on LOA.
Okay, thanks, Ben. Matt, you have the list.
Sorry, I was just moving around the chat box. So that actually kind of feeds into what I was about to say, in that Helen has not done her work reports yet. Judith is still regularly clocking in way more hours than any other exec. I highly recommend that, seeing as this is a pattern, it would be in her best interest to maybe have her workload be redistributed in some fashion, because if she's not willing to take on AVP, then that's an issue. She's not getting paid as much per hour as any of the other execs if her hours are to be are correctly tabulated, which I believe they are. And I don't think that's fair, because no, that's just not fair. And that's it. That's it for me.
Thanks, Matt. If anyone has any other discussion items, be sure to list. Yeah, Rio, you have the list.
So this is really embarrassing. I've had some fun stresses going on. I totally forgot about the postponement of the I forgot everything basically. So I've yet to go over the 15th, and I have gone over the 16th, 30th unnecessarily.
Ben, you have the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I took a, albeit brief, look at the the first to 15th reports, and they all look to be reasonably good to me. Like, everyone except for Helen, I believe, has their work reports completed. Everything, at least from my overview of them, seems to be appropriately detailed. Obviously, some execs more detailed than others, but that's more a matter of preference. But broadly speaking, this work report does look good to me.
So yeah, I'm next on the list. I just wanted to read out some stuff we have in the chat that we did notice some missing boxes in total hours in regards to the events or committee hours. So that'll be a good thing to check over. And yeah, Matt, you're next on the list.
Yeah, I just want to speak a little bit more on that. So for that, what I mentioned specifically, I was looking at Nikki's work reports. I think someone mentioned that like there's an extension for Nick. I think, Ben, you mentioned there was a extension on Nikki's work reports, but as something to keep in mind, because that can be a very easy thing to forget, right? Like, it's just a little thing. If you already have the rest of your hours calculated, why would you remember to calculate that little box at the end of the committees, right? But yeah.
Ben, you're next on the list.
Yeah, sorry, just to clarify for everyone, as I know this is a bit confusing with the postponement and all that. Nikki's extension is for the July 16th to 31st work report, which is extended until tomorrow. This work report, to the best of my understanding, should have been completed by now, and I think it's fair that we ought to note that those should just be filled in. Doesn't seem like too much effort to fill in. I think we can just quickly note that in an email.
Matt, you're next on the list. I know this was alluded to before as well in regards to some execs providing more information than others, but that can be an issue if students are trying to quickly scan through what our execs are doing. And if one exec is deciding to provide a lot of information in their work report, that can make it very easy to just glaze over everything, you know?
Yeah, Alan, you have a direct response.
Yeah, I thought what Matt's just said now is pretty, I don't know, it's pretty true. Because there has to be the right line between transparency and just drowning students in information. So yeah, I'd really like to know I don't know, how do we approach that?
Matt, you're next on the list.
Perhaps we could ask very nicely that execs only put in the information that they actually need to have into the work reports, like not have full-on sentences. Maybe a max word count could work. Yeah, Alan, that's actually not a terrible idea. Although it does bring some other questions around, like, what if this meeting does require a whole lot of extra information, you know? Overall, I don't hate the idea actually of a max word count. Maybe like a max word count of 100 words max. I feel like that might even be a bit much. Maybe like 50 could be something for OCEO to look into for future, because this is a consistent issue. I do like the suggested word count, Rio, as well. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so I'm next on the list. So just for the recording, Rio did suggest having a suggested maximum word count. I think for now, I think a gentle reminder would be adequate. Just in the email, just like, hey, kind of listing our concerns, just basic concerns like, hey, we still want this to be easily accessible and readable for general students, but do appreciate the detail, but it could be a bit more simplistic. But yeah, gentle reminder. Right, so seeing as there is no other discussion on this item, we would move on to the next one, item number 12, in camera. The motion reads, be it resolved to go in camera for the remainder of the meeting. May I have a mover for this?
History.
History moves. May I have a seconder?
Math.
Math seconds. So any discussion on this item? Seeing as there's no discussion on this, the motion passes unanimously and we're good to move in camera. Gordon. So yeah, now that we're back, item number 13, X camera. We're good to, the motion reads, be it resolved to go X camera. May I have a mover on this?
History.
History moves. May I have a seconder?
Math.
Math seconds. Any discussion on this? Seeing as though there is no discussion on this, the motion, yeah, so seeing as there's no discussion, the motion passes unanimously. And yeah, final item, number 18, adjournment. So be it resolved that be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 8:20 p.m. May I have a mover? Oh, yeah, Rio, you have a list.
Sorry, it might be a bit late to list. I just so does that for next meeting, are we going to cover 16 to 30 and then also August 1st to 15th or so?
Ben, you have a direct response?
That is the plan. The call for agenda was just sent out 20 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Ben. Yeah, so yeah, final item on item number 18, adjournment. The motion reads, be it resolved to adjourn the meeting at 8:21 p.m. May I have a mover?
History.
History moves. May I have a seconder?
Math.
Math
Bill.
seconds. Oh, math seconds. So yeah, seeking unanimous consent. If you wish to dissent or abstain, please use the Zoom raise hand feature and I'll record your vote. Seeing as there's none, the motion carries unanimously and the meeting is adjourned.